Hey guys, and welcome back to Battle Network 6. It's the final video for this particular week, not the one in general. Oh no, you're not getting off this particular crazy train just yet. But we're going to start things off on a good note by getting a new Link Navi.
Yeah, it's about time we've had one. I mean, Heat Cross has been working out well so far, but it's always nice to have a little variety, and the Link Navi that's coming up is actually a pretty good one. Like, I have to say, compared to the original design of this guy, I much prefer his Net Navi redesign overall. I really think it does a lot of, good things right to kind of create a design that really pops, in my opinion.
You're always so vague with this thing. Couldn't you, start praising it when it was actually on screen so we have some visual context?
That's true. I guess I should have waited a little bit.
A little birdie tells me, and by little birdie, I mean a past take, that you're not particularly fond of friggin' unsolicited newsletters in your email inbox.
That's true. I mean, this lady just shows up with her email in my inbox, of my PET, says, hey, I'm doing a cooking class. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Because in real life, I have actually gotten emails from, authors of books, mostly fiction and things like that. And I do believe it's because I've signed on to a couple of Kindle lists that let me get, book deals and things like that. But at the same time, I don't seem to have recalled asking to ever be on this person's list. Well, one day their newsletter will just show up in my inbox saying, oh, well, this celebrated author or whatever put out this new book. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Who are you? Take me off of it, please.
Okay, so we're going to be operating Slashman.exe here, and if you'll look in whatever corner I've decided to place the picture in, this is how he originally looked in Mega Man 7.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Mega Man 7 Robot Masters that much. I have to say, any Net Navi variants tend to usually be a lot better, and I think Slashman.exe is a huge improvement in terms of design.
He looks kind of garish in Mega Man 7.
Yeah, I mean, I get what they were invoking. We all thought Beastman was basically gonna be our Slashman. He actually looks really similar, but no, our Slashman is a little different in this universe. I don't know. I kind of like it all the same, so there you go.
He's got kind of an oriental influence to him, he has kunais as his, charge buster thingamabob, he's got, a ponytail, and he's just, very respectful and such.
And the way his code is set up, it actually reminds me a lot, considering he's got the whole gangly arms thing going. You ever play, Darkstalkers?
No, but are you referring to that one character who's a ghost?
Yeah, the Jiganashi, Hisenko, or Lele, depending on, which version you have. She's a Jiganashi, which I said that wrong. It's like a hopping vampire zombie type deal, and she has a really long coat, and she actually has weapons up her sleeves, like claws, and knives and swords and maces and things like that. That's who he really reminds me of, and I guess it's appropriate, considering that both of these properties were made by Capcom, so there you go.
So, the minigame for this particular Link Navi trial, it's essentially vegetable DDR. You go up to a vegetable, you input the correct inputs, and bada bing, jobs are good. And do it correctly, you'll get more than you would do for a half-assed kind of job. But you've got to be careful. More than one half-assed job can potentially screw you out of, winning the trial for each particular sub-area. So just try and do your best, otherwise you'll have to redo the entire area.
Yeah, these are basically cutscenes before... Not cutscenes, I'm sorry, QTEs before QTEs were a thing.
It is a scene where we're cutting stuff, so you were correct, I guess.
That's true, or you could say a cutscene is a scene that only appeared in the Final Mix version of the game.
Ah, nice. Wordplay. One of my favourite variants of humour.
I know, you use it oh so often. Well, nothing wrong with some wordplay every now and then. A really clever pun or wordplay, I can admit. That's good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's just when you kind of rely on it too much. And I'm not saying you in general. I'm just talking in general when people rely on wordplay and puns too much and things like that. It's actually interesting because, I've read, in my previous quest to be, a comedian of sorts before I kind of changed gears a little bit, I've actually read, books on telling jokes. And you'll notice a huge difference when you read books depending on, what area the author's originally from. Because if you're looking at stuff by American comedians, you're going to get a lot of stuff about observational humor. How to build stories. It's a lot of storytelling involved, things like that. But when you go over to, say, a British comedian, there's this one book I have over here, I'm not going to turn my head away that long because I want you guys to hear me. A lot of it was focused around a lot of one-liners, a lot of wordplay, you know, taking advantage of that kind of thing. Both of these styles are fine. If they're funny and creative, then that's totally cool. It's just interesting how the British tend to focus more on that. Well, us Americans, we were more inspired by guys like Jerry Seinfeld and things like that in terms of modern observational comedy. Yeah, I've studied that a little bit too much, I'm sorry.
It's fine, man. You've got a passion. I can appreciate that. Just going back to, is Miss Farran her name? Like a pun on Fahrenheit, I think?
I don't know if we call her Mrs. Fahrenheit, but Pat Farran, let me get her Japanese name. Known as Paxi Farran, Pachuki Farran in Japan. I said that wrong, I apologize.
Well, whatever. The point I was trying to make is, her whole spiel about cyber cooking is actually ingenious, and for once I'm not going to snark like, oh, they don't know how the real world operates in this fucking computer video game land, haha, I will snark at you, give me the ad revenue. No, cyber cooking is in fact an ingenious way to test recipes, iron out the flaws, without, like, you know, using up perishable items, you know, like vegetables, milk and so on. Just like, you can fine-tune these recipes. And honestly, I think Master Chef would be a lot more interesting if they utilised cyber cooking before actually getting into the finals. It would make for some very, very tense battles.
But at the same time, you know, I totally get what you're going for here, and it's always good to have the opportunity to practice, you know, when it comes to mastering these kind of skills. Actually, if you're in a situation where you want to learn a skill really quickly, the faster and more often you fail, you can actually fine-tune it. And you're able to kind of identify the mistakes you're going to make, and be able to kind of, you know, capitalize on that and learn at a quicker pace than you would normally. That's a good thing. But at the same time, with stuff like cooking, and I say this as somebody who's had more recent experience cooking. Now, as you know, I'm somebody who's very interested in health and fitness and things like that. So, as a result of my goals, I've been actually trying to teach myself how to cook more and more. And I'll tell you now, I make some dirt fucking simple food. Alright? It's just basic protein, carbs, whatever. You know, very simple stuff. But at the same time, I've had to learn techniques as I go along to prevent boredom. And it's not really something you can learn from like a program or even from a book. Like, it's something you really have to sit there and do. So, unless the technology is like holodeck technology, a cyber cooking or whatever can't really replicate the feel of actually holding a physical knife, cutting a physical vegetable, and kind of just getting that muscle memory going on and understanding what you're doing, you know what I'm saying?
Feeling the rush as the blood comes out of the carcass and you feel alive.
I don't know if vegetables bleed. I'm pretty sure there are vegetables that juice. Okay, well, if you cut a tomato, that's technically the same thing. That's probably the closest you're gonna get to cutting flesh without actually cutting flesh, you know what I'm saying?
I was actually referring to like a hunk of beef, but whatever.
Fair enough.
Couple more rounds and we should be good to go. There is a final part of this challenge, and it ends exactly as you think it might.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I mean, you gotta fight him at one point. You gotta cut up that veggie before it goes bad. I'm sorry, you did not freeze your vegetables? That's what I do. That keeps that shit fresh all week, man.
Well, these are cyber veggies. They operate on a different plane of freshness.
Don't they have cyber frozen veggies? You know, like those cyber steam fresh bags or whatever?
No, what are you, naive?
Oh no, I just make sense. I'm such a weirdo, aren't I? No, I don't think I'll be having a battle today. No.
No, you get the one. That's all.
I'm sorry, I have to cut up radishes. And you know, these do not look like normal radishes that I'm accustomed to, but these are like those Japanese radishes. Like,
yeah.
they have like a lot of different types of radishes and carrots and things like that. They have like purple carrots. This is a natural thing. And I'm like, what?
Well, you realise, like, the original carrot was purple, and then they, like, started, like, dyeing it or whatever?
Yeah, they dyed the carrot. Okay, I don't know how they became orange, but that's true, actually. It was actually more of a more modern, recent thing for that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to not taste that and die of starvation.
It reminds me of that joke that Seinfeld did about, like, you know, he doesn't get the idea behind cooking shows. Here's what I made, you can't have any. Good night.
Alright, it's time to row battle!
Or net battle. Man, I really wish now that I had a friend and, myself had a copy of these games so we could actually battle each other with our Mega Mans. Like, I've always wanted to kind of do that kind of thing.
So, Slashman.exe. He can zip around at, like, the speed of light, so you're going to want to be very careful. Just back up when he gets close to you, counter. As for his, like, spinning top attack, I've tried to, like, think of how to put this into words, but essentially, it goes from, like, the outside in, so if you're, like, in the middle square, just move forward when it comes at you.
And, he throws in the kunai every now and then. It really just seems like more of a defensive battle. Like, I remember fighting this guy, but it was, like, long ago. But then again, I typically play defensive, as you know. Just kind of watch what he's doing. Try not to get caught by... Probably the attack that's probably going to hit you most often if you're unaware for it is that move right there. So you definitely have to watch out.
That one's really easy to counter, though, so it's all good. By the way, I have never been more appreciative of the friggin' like emotion window thing, because you saw how fast his HP went down from like 800 to about 240. I've got to say, like, moving about the grid, I haven't heaped enough praise on Mega Man, like, Battle Network, any of them's, like, battle system. It feels good, like, I'm being strategic, but I'm also being rewarded in the Mega Man Classic kind of way for, like, memorizing attack patterns.
Yeah, it's satisfying. Like, I definitely have to agree there, and I think that's why the game's held up for so long, because, and with the multiplayer aspects and things like that, it's just really satisfying to kind of get into the flow of, like, a fight. I know with Star Force what they did is they actually simplified a lot. Like, they had a grid, but you could only move, like, left to right. The game sort of became like a Mega Man Punch-Out. That's, like, the best way to describe it. Where you could go left and right, you could throw up a shield. If you used a sword, you would automatically warp to the enemy and slash. I have heard mixed things about that, and like I said before, I hear Star Force 3 is actually really good, and I still want to try that one of these days, but I don't know, I still kind of have to get past my whole it's not Battle Network sort of thing with that.
Oh my god, this is delicious!
Is this like that anime about the guy who has, like, warm hands that makes bread, and every time they eat bread, they use, like, these elaborate metaphors to describe how amazing the bread is?
Huh?
I forgot what the fuck that anime is called, but it's an actual legit thing.
Well, there's one recently where people have orgasms every time they eat. It's like, whoa, it's amazing!
What was that one?
I can't give you a name for that, sorry.
Here's an anime I've seen, what is it? I don't know.
Well, I figured since you were being vague, I would try my hand at it as well. Anything you can do, I can do better, and much more pettily.
Anyway, we got Slash Cross, and let me just look this up really fast, just to make absolutely sure what it does. Because I have it here, I might as well. Okay, so Slash Cross, element is sword, the weakness is break. Non-damaging sword chips gain 50 attack. Non-damaging sword chips can be charged to launch a Sonic Boom with the same range as a chip, and the charge shot becomes a wide slash. Hits a 2x3 area in front of Mega Man for 20 times Buster Rank plus 60 sword. It hits a lot, okay?
Yeah.
If there's an object in the column immediately in front of Mega Man, it will hit a 1.3 area instead. Very useful on bosses, that's what they say.
Good stuff. Oh, that's an angry dad strut if I've ever seen one.
I'm very angry at ooh.
I had to do something dubious. Don't question me.
I had to use the bathroom there. It was very embarrassing.
See, look, he's just like, oh, okay, you did a thing, cool.
Well, by this time, Lan has stopped so much cybercrime. He's like, fuck it, I don't even care.
We basically swapped roles in this whole parent-child analysis now. This better be good.
I better still not be on your newsletter, Pat. Still on your fucking newsletter, unsubscribe!
And here we go. Skippity skip skip. Well, I suppose I shouldn't, because we actually weren't told about how Slash Cross works.
Good thing I told you because of the wiki, so yeah.
Son of a bitch. Well, you should be used to retakes by now, guys.
Yeah. No! Get off my email.
See, the chef is succinct and to the point. Ah, yes. Just be thankful it wasn't a more heinous crime like murder or shoplifting.
Was that a badly drawn picture of a serve-bot back there near where the bathroom is in their house?
Oh, the yellow painting on the wall.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a duck.
It could be. I really think it's more of a serve bot, personally, because it kind of has the block shape going on.
Like, I always thought the guy on the bike above Lan's bed was the main character from Boktai.
Well, it is.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
Shut my mouth.
They did not cut that part out, actually, of the game. They cut out all the other stuff, like I said before, but still.
Do you think having a teacher like Mr. Mac would be, like, physically or emotionally exhausting?
It could be sometimes, but at the same time, I've had teachers that have such a good attitude that they really make you feel good to attend that class. Like, I'm trying to remember some, because obviously I don't remember, for the purposes of this story. But, like, sometimes you'll have, like, in middle school where I gotta do this. But, I got English with this awesome teacher. So, yeah, I'm actually really kind of excited. Even if you're not a big fan of the subject, because having the right kind of attitude really does help when it comes to these kind of things.
Yeah, just don't be loud, is what we're saying here. I mean, if you're gonna sleep in class, at least put your monitor up so you can hide behind it.
Or put on those glasses with, like, the eyeballs going on.
Oh, brilliant.
I wonder if somebody's trying to get away with that in real life.
You talking to me?
It is implied that I am alive. The locker's bouncing again, Lan.
Shut up, Mega Man. I'm trying to snooze over here.
My first Mega Man Bound Network creepypasta. That thing that was in the closet that I didn't pay attention to in class. Do like how there are 2 security cameras in the classroom, just watching to make sure the students are learning and everything.
It is now time for education to end.
Stop the learning. Go rot your brain with TV now.
Holding a book, throw that shit on the floor. The robots will clean it up.
It's in the trash where it belongs. Were there any, like, terrible books you were forced to read in school?
So many possibilities for jokes arise right now. All of them offensive.
The one book I got in school that I had to read that I absolutely fucking hated.
Oh, wait, you will have to tell me this later or possibly next time, because this is a serious part. Here we go.
Oh, so that's why he was running all that torrent shit. Oh, okay, well, I knew about that, don't worry.
It's a bit of an overreaction from the police. I was only downloading some JoJo.
You can't get Kamen Rider over here in the US. Toei doesn't care. They actually don't. Like, I think their stance was that because, Kamen Rider can't really be accessed over here in the US, they don't really try to stop downloading of that, because the fans who do will usually import merchandise from Japan anyway and give them money. So I think they're actually okay with it.
And what I actually like about this particular part is this music will just continually play, no matter what place you go into, and this is heartbreaking right here.
Yeah, this is actually some really kind of tense shit going on, and I gotta say, a lot of the plot twists in Battle Network 6 are pretty good. Like, in earlier games, the storytelling was not really that great, but here they actually can have some really interesting scenarios to talk about. In particular, I actually really like this scenario because of the kind of plot twist stuff they keep pulling on you here.
Now's not the time to visit other areas, by the way, just go straight home.
I think I need to get some battle chips right now, it's very important. Who's gonna mow the lawn while your dad's arrested? I can't.
That is totally a serve bot, you're right. They told him to stop watching fucking part 3 of JoJo. He was on the Anubis fight and everything.
Excuse me, sir, we have reports that you have been illegally hosting Nintendo Let's Plays on your channel. I'm afraid we're gonna have to take you in.
It seems you're watching the anime without having read the manga first. It's the punishment room for you.
No wonder he got arrested.
What a pleb.
I just wanted to wait until Part 5 anime came out. Sure you did, buddy. Sure you did.
That's what they all say. Okay, now we can leave Central Town. Let's go.
You remember that one Mario Party commercial where they're having the Mario Party, and then, like, the police come in? We heard there's been a disturbance. Who's the ringleader? And Mario comes up. It's me! Could you come outside, sir?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You never seen that?
No, I haven't, actually.
That commercial's a fucking classic. You need to look that up.
I would just love if they took him outside and it cuts to, like, you know, that tutorial screen in, like, the Mario Party games. It was like, do-do-do-do. And there's like the policemen, and you can turn them left and right using the control stick. And you press start, and it's just Mario getting interrogated in a cell. I sentence you to 5,000 years.
In dungeon?
Sir, Mr. Judge Tree, J Tree, to use your official name. Humans don't live that long. Silence! The Judge Tree has spoken.
You might as well just execute the motherfucker.
No, this way's more fun.
No, there's always room for mercy. I'm sorry, most competitive teams do not work well without one.
Nice.
100 hours of zapping. That's kind of a great, cartoonish, stupid punishment when you think about it.
Oh, but I preferred the NES Super Scope, or was it the Super Nintendo? Well, Super's in the title, I suppose.
So did Blackbeard get like 50 hours of zapping? Is this like community service? Because where I work at, we actually have community service members. They have to work, you know, for us to kind of pay off community service hours, so that's always interesting.
Yeah, I think there's like some sort of... We're on a ruse cruise now, I think. Dad can't be guilty. I've known him for all of one game.
Well, I've known him for more than that, and yeah, something is definitely suspicious here, and I have a feeling it has to do with the fucking robot computer tree they decided to judge people with.
I'm surprised they don't execute people by putting their heads on the giant tree robot gavel.
That would be pretty metal when you think about it. However, he does shitpost a lot on Twitter underneath certain hashtags. I'm afraid we'll have to take him in.
Every time the music cuts out, I will play a different piece of Ace Attorney music. I cannot be stopped. So, the tree itself is qualified to make these statements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know how easy it is to modify strings in your program, dude.
Ah, okay. I really want to play the Ace Attorney games again.
Yeah, you're getting that vibe now, aren't you? Oh, he has an Alva, I just can't tell you about it. You don't want to know what he was doing.
Huh. Something's tickling in my brain that kind of like proves the dad is innocent, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it was.
I suppose we'll have to find out through investigation, of course.
Oh, of course, we saw him outside the school.
Oh, that's true. And then we walked home with him. And it was awkward because we passed our friends. And he made a dad joke. And I cried.
Yeah. Hi, Mega Man. I'm Dad. Literally. We can prove this. I'm not gonna, like, reveal, like, what it is exactly, but if you were paying attention to the dialogue, and God knows we would, you should have figured it out by now.
Because if he's not out of jail, who's gonna go to work? Mom? That's not gonna happen. I'm not cooking. Get cool outfits and be detectives.
Yeah, I just want Mega Man and Lan to, like, cross-fuse or some shit. Aha, DetectiveMan.exe.
Oh, this is when Mega Man was voiced by Danny DeVito.
I love the fact he said, "What's a Pokemon?" when people finally brought it up to him.
Well, that's definitely a plan.
Proper Ace Attorney shit right now, I love it.
Yeah, I'm hearing it right now.
And the music kicks back in, so goodbye Ace Attorney soundtrack.
Well, I'm sure it'll come back up. You'll find any opportunity.
Hey, it's good shit, man.
Hey, I'm not denying that. I do like some of the music.
Everyone out of my way! I have clues to find!
Where to? The truth.
Oh, nice. You made it work. Okay, guys, that'll do it for this week's installment of Mega Man Battle Network 6, but come back next time for a fresh new batch. See you then!